Thinking outside the box can often open your eyes to new possibilities in many areas, and real estate is no exception. Economist and author John Tuccillo says that expanding your vision internationally might produce some real surprises, not to mention a world of opportunity.
One of the biggest growth areas in real estate is international transactions. Transactions which take place across national borders. There's been an explosion of activity in that area. Despite the problems that affect the world economy, despite the debt which the United States has piled up, the recessions which they have gone through, which Europe has gone through, the malaise which has plagued Japan for many, many years, and even the slowing down of the Chinese growth rate, despite all these things, the number of international transactions grows year by year by year. Why is that the case? Well, I think there are a number of reasons. First of all, the world is a much more open place. The economies are all tied together. Tom Friedman wrote a book called The Earth is Flat. And what he tried to say in that book was, we are all interdependent. And I think we realize that, and I think we know that. That interdependence goes along to the real estate market, because with interdependence, with an openness in the market, comes more information about availability and opportunities in other countries. The second thing that's happening is that in the United States in particular, we have an aging baby boom generation. And that aging baby boom generation is looking for retirement housing. And they want to find it in places not only in the United States, but also places where their retirement income goes farther. Places like Panama, Costa Rica, and Mexico. Places where the cost of living is lower, and yet there are enough in the way of amenities and development that they can feel comfortable where they are. So there's been a growth in demand on the part of aging Americans, and that's spurred cross-national pieces. The other piece is that in many, many, many countries, we're beginning to see an emerging middle class. I can cite particularly here China and India, where we have a very large and rapidly growing number of people who are increasing their standard of living year by year. You have a large and growing middle class, you will get an increased demand for ownership. And that demand for ownership generates opportunities, and those opportunities will lead to transnational transactions. And then finally, there are the kinds of currency fluctuations which go on here and there. And at any one time, somebody's going to be benefiting from that and someone's going to be hurting from that. For example, in the early years of this century, in 2000, 2001, European real estate was a bargain for Americans because the euro was down relative to the dollar. If you fast forward to 2007, Europeans found enormous bargains in the US because the euro was strong against the dollar. So there's always going to be the cross-national demand that's generated by currency differences and currency relationships. Now, where's this going to go in the future? Well, this will increase over time. We may see some frictions in the mortgage market. It still requires much more paperwork for a foreign national to buy real estate in a given country. We may see requirements, restrictions on use through visa systems. By and large, because of the growing population in the middle class, because of the aging of the American baby boom, because of growing wealth in other parts of the world, we will see an explosion of international transactions. For those of you out there who have never thought of doing this is a marvelous niche opportunity for realtors. This is a growing market, it's a market that you can get into, and it's a market that you can profit from.
Improved technology, including internet video, has made international house hunting both enjoyable and practical. Keeping track of overseas opportunities for your clients isn't as difficult as it might seem. And with today's economy, it could open up an exciting new market for years to come. Thanks for joining us.